And we're back.
And we're back. Good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
Welcome to a Intuitive Guidance night, Monday nights.
Monday nights.
John and John.
John and John. Yes.
Indeed.
Indeed. Here we go again.
Here we go again. So the general flow is you can ask questions about recurring life issues, recurring life problems, or general guidance questions. We like for you to be as descriptive as you can, and the guide is to really use your own words to describe particular feelings.
Yeah.
Don't maybe use a doctor's term or,
Yeah.
and it could be, ailments, pains in bodies. It could be, things that are recurring as a pattern in your life.
So the subconscious mind creates our body, basically. So all the images we have in our subconscious mind, and a lot of the pains, problems, the things that piss you off, all these things are a message from the soul through the subconscious mind and the body. So we're trying to get the message back. If you can work out what the message is, then 9 times out of 10, the body can heal itself instantly, or the life circumstance can heal itself instantly. So, or you can change your life if you look at what pisses me off and with other people and see what that is.
Hey, Petra.
And yeah, so
drop a comment. We also give you an option to come on live.
Yep.
And let me say that you can wear your pajamas because you can choose not to share video and only audio. So we can just hear your voice while you see us and everyone else sees us.
So if you want to have a chat, it makes it easier. We can dig in deeper. We had some good readings last week, really good readings. Paul, one of the guys that was on and got one of the free readings last week, he really had a big shift. He commented back afterwards. It really helped him to start moving forward.
Yep.
He's seen some of the things. I asked him what peed him off. And he was talking about some traffic issues, how he always gets pissed off with people about blinkers and stuff like that. And then I helped him to see it in his own life where he wasn't signaling to people that he needed to. And then he really saw how that started to clear things up. So a lot of the things on the outside that annoy us, that piss us off, whatever it does.
Even at work.
Or at work. If we look at it symbolically, not at what they're doing, but this is one of our tools. We call it, if it animates you, it's in you. But basically, if anything pisses you off or annoys you or anything like that, we can help you to break it down to what the base thing is that's annoying you, what it means on a symbolic level, instead of where they're doing it. Usually most people are doing it on the outside, doing it to somebody else, like the guy with the blinkers. He gets pissed off with people not using their blinkers. Then I bet he was having trouble with some people at work and his partner, and I told him he wasn't signaling them. It's about signaling or not signaling, and then he wants to make a change and they get upset because they didn't know he's about to make a change and stuff like that. So these things that annoy us on the outside are there for us to see what we need to change on the inside.
Indeed.
Most of the time.
Sometimes
we need to change the same thing on the outside, but most of the time it's the opposite. So hi guys, welcome everyone. So if anyone wants to come on and have a chat, we can you can come on live, just audio or audio video. The link is at the top there on the Zoom.
Click on the link.
Talk about some of the issues, some of the things that could be health issues, what they mean symbolically. So if you want to ask some questions, give us a bit of detail about what issues,
what it is. For example, I've got an ache in my neck and it feels as though someone's, feels like it's a pushing down, or it feels like it's a stabbing
on the left
pain,
or right,
on the left or the right,
inside, outside,
whether it's left or right, front or back.
All these things
help us navigate
and see usually who it involves. Most of the time, if it's issues on the left, that'll involve females. If it's on the right, it'll involve males. But it's also the right's also physical and the left spiritual as well. But yeah, if you describe the issue more, or just come on and tell us what peeves you off and see if we can.
What animates you?
If you want to have a little go at seeing, stop getting angry at roundabouts, which my kids would have loved me to discover that one about 10, 15 years earlier and stop yelling in the car at people at roundabouts, because I had a problem with roundabouts with people like sitting in the traffic, and I'm like, fucking just go through. And it used to scare my kids, unfortunately. But I finally worked it out, and so I described it to myself simply. I said, So what is annoying? I said, well, the fucking rules are simple. If one car goes, then the traffic flows and everything flows easier. If they just follow the rules and everybody does what they need to do without any effort, everything flows easier. And so then I turned it on myself and I said, so what simple rules do you know in your life? If you just followed them, then everything would flow easier. And it was these tools that I teach. And then as soon as I agreed inside myself that moment to start doing it, I didn't actually full on do the tools. But the next roundabout, it didn't bother me. And it didn't bother me again for at least 2-3 weeks until I stopped using the tools a little bit.
The drivers on the road had a bit of a prize.
Yeah. So unfortunately,
So you're going to give away some more free sessions this week?
Yeah, so a few free sessions again this week. I'll do 3 free ones this week, free half-an-hour sessions for the people on here who personally message us at BQuest. And I'll give away 3 half-an-hour sessions.
Yeah, so either drop a comment here saying they're interested, or get in touch through our website, bquest.me, and send us a contact form request, or jump on our Facebook page, BQuest Wellbeing, drop us a message.
So symbolically, the issues around the base chakra and that usually involve the tribal things. So that's usually issues you've got with like a whole bunch of people, like the family, work, community, stuff like that. And that'll put blockages down the base area. So that'll give you a lot of blockages in the base chakra. The navel chakra is a lot of one-on-one issues. So relationships, friendships, all things like that. That'll get a lot of congestion there. And this is how we track it back and find out who it involves. We feel which chakra is blocked, and then because 9 times out of 10, it's involving other people. It's a relationship, a communication, a harmony, cooperation issue between you and other people. It's not what you've got wrong, it's who you've got wrong. And that's not that they're wrong, by the way, guys. Let me really clarify this. And I apologize if I gave the wrong impression the other week when I said about my kids that are not talking to me. It was something that I did wrong, and I understand why they don't, and I hope they do. My oldest 3 anyway, I hope they do forgive me and talk to me soon. We were laughing at the fact that I seen how I caused it. So one of my kids heard that and thought we were laughing at the fact that they don't talk, and that's not what I intended at all. I just saw the issues in me and the physical problems it was causing for that, and we were laughing at how much of a problem that was for so long. And I started to clear it in my body. So
Carl's asking if your one-on-one sessions this week are going to be live.
Look, I didn't put any of the ones up live last week because they got a little bit personal. I'll discuss it afterwards. The 3 that I did last week, I didn't end up putting them on live because there was a lot of personal stuff in there and names and relationships and stuff. So after I do the free ones, we'll talk about it with whoever does it, and if they want it up live or if they agree, then I'll put it up live. But I didn't do any of the last week's ones, so there'll be free sessions this week.
WJB Jane, I would so love to know what you do. How can I learn this? Start by going to our YouTube channel, Jane. Some of our tools are up there. We also have some intuitive guidance sessions, so recordings of ones that we've done as part of promos for other people. So you can actually listen in for half an hour, 40 minutes, whatever it is, and actually get a feel for the kinds of issues that we tackle.
We're in the middle of writing a book, and we're going to be putting more videos up. There is a lot of stuff. I've studied Chinese medicine and that, but the core of it comes down to, similar to Louise Hay's You Can Heal Your Life. It's a combination of that. It's a combination of a lot of Caroline Myss stuff, if anyone's heard of her. So it's all to do with chakras, meridians, but it's really to do with emotions. There's a really good show for everybody. I only watched it yesterday, which really is talking exactly like we're talking on Gaia TV. If anyone's got the Gaia channel, it's called Emotion. That's what the video is called.
E-motion.
E-motion. And
E-motion.
Run away from your emotions. That's energy and motion.
E-motion.
It's like, there is a lot of others and a lot of other things I combine intuitively, but the videos are up there, and we are going to be teaching more classes and stuff like that. But we will have on this website, when we update it, we'll have all the different books that I got a lot of this stuff from, as well as videos, links and stuff like that. So that should be updated soon.
Very soon.
Okay, so
who's got some questions?
Who's got some questions, or who wants to come on live?
Hey, Annabelle.
I
hope your friends get out of your lift, all right?
If you've got any things that annoy you, like Do you get pissed off with traffic all the time? What, like, describe that. And then you can look at that, where that is in you, you know? So all these things, you know, indicate something. And whenever we get all the negative emotions, anger, fear, frustration, resentment builds up in the bones. Trust me, guys, I've broken more bones than I care to think about. And I always said it was just because I was a hothead on the motorbike, which might have been the cause of the crash of the motorbike. But it was the resentment build up that got me to that point. And, you know, the bones that broke showed me what the resentment I was building up. You know, I didn't think of it as a bad thing at the time. I just thought I was, you know, frustrated because I was unjustly done by. God wasn't giving me the world I wanted to have. Looking back, that's how I saw it. Yeah. I didn't see it like that at the time.
So I just dropped a bit.ly link to our YouTube channel. So yeah, go check it out. There's a bunch of different playlists there. The tools playlist. We've got some basics around basic tools. We've got, as I said, the intuitive guidance sessions, and
so the core to healing any of this stuff, when we find it, when we find the emotions, when we find the negative thing like the resentment, so again, okay, forgiveness is the key all the time. So, but you've got to be genuine. You can't say I forgive, or I know I should forgive. It's like, so if you can't forgive, if you feel like, you know, I know I want to forgive, but I can't forgive, you can ask for help. You know, ask the universe, say, universe, I really, really want to forgive this person and I'm struggling. Can you show me how? Just by saying that, you open the door, it opens the receiving up. It's like, I really, really want to forgive. And obviously, I can feel that I'm not fully forgiving in this moment. I want to forgive that person. I might have forgiven in my head, but I haven't forgiven in my heart or my emotions. So the forgiveness key will fix all of this up so fast, it's unbelievable. It's like, but any of these things, fixing the emotions has to be genuine. Yeah, I believe that in my head, but I'm not really believing it in my gut, you know? So you just say, please help me. I really want to forgive. I really want to let go of my resentment. And what's the opposite of resentment is gratitude. It's, you know, one of the ways that we fix a lot of our money situation up is we just see other people with it and we say congratulations.
Congratulations.
But only when it's genuine. Only when it's genuine. So congratulations. And, you know, I don't know if, you know, sometimes I used to go, I'm not going to congratulate that person because I can see that they're not like this and they're, you know, they're not really happy. You know? So I don't know that. That could have been just his mood at that moment or their mood at that moment. So I just say, congratulations. It looks like you've got what you got. It looks like, I don't know. I don't need to know. Congratulations, because that's what I wanted to fix up in my life, was a money situation.
What if you want to knife everyone? I don't know. Perhaps what if you want to knife everyone?
Well, that's
how does everyone make you feel that you would get to a position where you want to knife them? Maybe drop that comment and let's go from there.
So this is resentment. This is a lot of this stuff. I know that feeling well. I had it many years ago, and it's, you know, and it took me many years, bit by bit, to let it go. But just starting to see that, you know, it comes from judgment. It comes from, you haven't got what you want, you know, you've been hard done by. And like for me with the resentment, I was judging God, going, oh, well, you know, God, fucking, I done something wrong. I was blaming karma at the time, right? Oh, that's my karma. That's how I justify it. But then that's like saying God's a punishing God, or the universe is punishing me. And then the resentment builds up. So, you know, just start saying congratulations. Even if you don't feel it fully, just repeat it until you can start to feel it. So, you know, congratulate, whatever you, look at the people you want to knife, right? What are they doing? That's how you find it. That's what's missing for you. The people you want to knife, they're the ones that are happy. Why are they fucking happy? Can't they see all the bad shit going on in the world? Let's fucking kill them. It's like, you know, it's like, just find out, look at the type of person you want to knife. And that's something that's missing inside of you that you're not giving to yourself. And it's not that they might be doing it on the outside to other people, but you might be doing it, your head and your heart might be doing it. You know, they're just oblivious to all the problems in the world. Good on them. Happy for that. You know, be oblivious. You know, at least they're creating more happiness. I'd rather oblivious people than aware people who are really angry all the time because they're just building up the anger in the world. You know, let's cut it off in ourselves. Let's cut the negative emotions off. You know, be the change you want to see. This is how it works.
All right, Joanne, why is it that I store energy in my back?
Well, the spine is where the meridians are, and most of the energy goes into the back. At the back, if you're feeling it on the back, on the skin, it's past issues. It's all the different stuff about the past. But the spine is the spine is part of the brain. It's like we shouldn't really call it the spine. It's the spinal column is the lower part of the brain. It's part of the subconscious mind. So that's where all the memories are. It's like a big fucking
USB drive.
It's a movie theater, with about fucking 500 terabytes of pictures you've got in there of your life, So, and a lot of it comes from these things that we're talking about, like holding on to things, like the images, like what's right, what's wrong. I'm hard done by, and it builds up. Forgiveness. It's like, I don't know how to forgive this person. Show me. Feel where it is. There's the different areas will tell you. If it's behind the solar plex, if it's a lower back, it's going to be issues you've got with the tribe, with family, with the government, with work people. Like if it's a bit higher up in the naval area, it's going to be one-on-one issues, relationships, friendships, all one-on-one. It's a bit higher. It's it's you not following what you need to do for you.
Okay.
So.
Yep. Thank you. Alrighty, Cherie. I was born blind in my right eye. It's called congenital cataract, passed down through genes. Only known person in my family, and it didn't pass on to my children. I've always wondered why. Any ideas? I chose not to get surgery to straighten my right eye because it seems superficial, and believe it was probably there for me to learn something.
Yeah, well, it probably is, and I find 90% of the time it is, and I'd have to delve into that. So if you want to come on live, we can sort of try and delve into that. If not, come on for the free one, because if it is, there's patterns that pass on through generation to generation. And a new tool I just discovered yesterday was forgiving my great grandparents for the things that are going on in my life and asking forgiveness from them. I don't know, but I know the patterns pass on from generation to generation, and it's got a name for it now, which I've forgotten off the top of my head. Epigenetics, they call it now. So it's actually thank you. It's a science. It's a science now. It's not even a theory anymore. They call it epigenetics, which is memories and emotions and that passing on, rather than just the genetics of hair and body structure and all that other genetics.
Yeah.
So we've got someone.
All right, we've got Tina. Thank you, Tina. We'll just bring you on now. We can. Just got to unmute you. You can unmute yourself, Tina. Are you there, Tina?
Are you there, Tina? Click on
the little red line on your microphone if you're there.
And if not, we'll
3,
go back to the questions
2,
and check again in a second.
1. We'll try you again in a minute.
So we had a couple of people click on there last week that didn't realize they'd clicked on there. So
yeah,
that might be that one of them ones. So we'll remove your Tina, and if you did click on, just click on again and we'll bring it back in.
All right.
Okay. So we've got other questions there. So yeah, with the genetics, with the eye thing, there's a lot of thing about not seeing. There could be a past life issue there. So who was that? That was
Joanne, I think it was. Sorry. Nope. Oh, there,
Cherie, yeah. So Cherie, click on the BQuest site and get one of my free ones, because it'll probably take half an hour to sort of really dig through that and help you to find what it is that needs to be forgiven. And sometimes it'll repair itself. And if it doesn't repair itself, what usually happens is the person is completely content with the issue. So once you find it, once you forgive whatever the core issue is, then it either repairs itself or there's a lot of contentment and peace with the issue.
Oh, there are some resentful people out there tonight. Forgiveness. Hope they're miserable.
Yeah. So
how's that working for you?
So whatever you put out comes back, right? It's like you reap what you sow, but it takes a while. So most people don't see it. And the reason we get resentment, because it looks like other people aren't reaping what they're sowing. But what we reap, what we sow, is our thoughts and feelings and emotions more than anything. It's not so much our actions. Our actions are the least of our reaping, because our thoughts and our feelings, our intentions, as some people call it, our feelings about the thing is this thing that changes. If you wish, if you want happiness in your life, you can't wish other people unhappiness. It's just, you can, and it will work temporarily.
Cause and effect.
It's like a ripple going out across, I heard a good description. You drop a pebble in a glass, and the ripple goes out. And when it hits the edge of the glass, the ripple comes back in and comes back to where it started.
Right.
And our thoughts and feelings and emotions do the same thing. Every thought goes out across the universe and it bounces back and it comes back to us. But because it goes all the way out and across the universe and back, there's a time delay. So we don't realize that what we're copying now is our own intentions of our thoughts and feelings. And that's not from judgment. We haven't been taught this thing. So don't judge yourself for doing this. Just say, aha, oh, is that the case, right? I go, oh, and then start beating yourself up, because then you're just doing the same thing, right? It's like, we should, I believe, we will get to a time where we teach kids this stuff in school, and some schools do now.
Yes, so, absolutely. All right, Tash and George, I always feel tight in my back and chest. I hold on to everything and I don't know how to move on.
Okay, so those words are what we call filters.
Filters.
So I always, any definite word, any fixed word, we call it. So I always, everybody, nobody, all those fixed words create filters in the subconscious. The subconscious mind doesn't know the difference between a joke, a reality. This is why meditation and visualization works. The subconscious mind, you can visualize yourself exercising and the body will change shape if you can do it properly and genuinely. We used to have it. We discovered this one really bad last year, and some negative jokes that we had. The subconscious mind picks it up, and then people around us pick up that vibration and start throwing it back at us. We could get a lot of this song from rap songs, and that was where we were joking about it. Some rap songs that we used to joke about, and all of a sudden, people around us started accusing us of this stuff that we were singing and joking about. Subconscious mind doesn't know that it was a joke. It just it's like a video recorder. It takes everything, every thought, feeling, and emotion, and especially every word, everything we say, it takes it and magnifies it and amplifies it into our body.
Yeah, and it can also not be yours, right? Yeah. Like the feelings that you're having, one of our tools is, are they my feels?
Yeah.
That tightness of that whatever that sensation or that feeling is that you're getting, it may not actually be yours, right?
So the back is usually past issues. So that's usually holding on to, you haven't dealt with emotions and stuff like that. And the chest area is not following your heart most of the time. That's like, there's this compression, there's this tightness in the chest because your heart wants to say, hey, do this, do that. Your heart is fearless. It's the lion in you, or the lioness, and it doesn't have any fear. So every time any fear comes up, it tightens around the heart because the heart is actually fearless, and it goes. And so if when you start following your heart, when you start living through the heart more and start looking through the heart and listening through the heart, the first thing I want you to do is to go and face all your fears. If you're one of the people that doesn't want to stand out, it makes you go and stand out and wear bright clothes or whatever. If you're one of the people that, is intimidated by public speaking, it'll want you to go up there and do public speaking. Whatever you're scared of, it wants you to go straight to it because it knows that fear is false.
So Petra's come back and asked, so when I feel lots of energy released from my back, is when something is released or is releasing or realized, or feels true?
Yeah. So usually when it releases, you'll feel it flowing through. So the chakras should flow through. As we're walking around, we perceive everything. The chakras are like the colors of the rainbow. So the different vibrations of different things pass through us. It's all one energy. It's not different energies, but to perceive it, we break it up into different frequencies, just like the strings or the notes on the guitar. So we can hear the different thoughts and feelings and emotions go through different chakras. So when you deal with it, it flows through and you feel that releasing and letting go. And it should, at first you'll feel a lot of releasing and letting go, but when you get it up to speed, it feels like nothing. So when you're feeling something, there's shit to work on. When you work on, when you get through a whole heap of stuff and you've been working really intensely, and then I got a big one yesterday, and I felt like, oh, there's something wrong, because there was nothing wrong. There was nothing to process. And so I was just empty for a while. So, so yes, that flowing energy is when it's releasing.
Okay, Nettie, what does pain in my right shoulder mean? And it goes down my arm too.
Which part of your shoulder? Is it over the back? Because that's usually a meridian-based thing. But your right shoulder is about being flexible. Thanks, guys. It's the one I've been working on all day, my right shoulder. The right shoulder is about, so the arms and the shoulders are about your daily actions and doing stuff. It's also the shoulder relates to the heart or the throat. So the heart, and your one, I feel like it's more about the throat. So it's about communication and it's about choices. So you're not choosing from yourself because you're comparing, you're worried about what other people will think or whatever else. And it's to do with males. Was it a male that asked? Or
it was a female, I think. Many,
so yeah, so you're probably stopping yourself from making choices and doing your daily actions. Like you might be wanting to choose to change, some eating habits or some, exercise habits or routines that are more physical based, and you're worried because there's a male in your life that won't approve or something like that. So it's blocking the throat chakra. It's causing pain in the shoulder. Again, I'd have to ask a few more questions to get down to the specifics. It feels like it's got a heat issue, which feels like
it's almost here as well. Like,
so it's like it feels like it could be part of the triple warmer meridian, which is about the fire, which is about choosing for yourself again, which is the solar plexus area, because it's about heat and fire. Fire transforms and it burns off the old and allows the new to grow. So again, I'd have to get a little bit more specific with that. We could probably find the people that it relates to.
Yeah. If you want to come on, click on the Zoom link.
Husband, son, boss, or something like that. Usually someone close to you. Could be an old one from the father, actually. I'm feeling like it's, trying to follow father's beliefs, and that's stopping you from doing your new action, your new daily actions you need and want to do.
Okay, Mel's asked, my left side of my neck is killing me. What does that mean?
Again, this is judgments. It's communication problems. Communication, and the communications are stopping you from choosing what you need to choose. So the left side is usually because you've got a communication problem either with yourself if you're female or other females, and you're judging that or you're judging them like I was. And then that judgment subconsciously turns into blame or resentment, and you just start leaking energy out of the side of your neck. So you've got to start pulling your choices inwards. Say, okay, I don't know if they did that. I don't know what their reasons are. I've just got to start choosing for me. Show me, put your hand on your heart and pull that energy inwards and let it release out through the third eye. So anywhere where there's energy going out, try and pull it into the heart of hearts, into the sacred heart, and let it pull up and release out forward through the third eye to the Christ consciousness. Christ consciousness gets access. So everything that we pull up that we can't work out. So if you're feeling it go out, try pulling it into the center line, into the core, into the hara line or whatever they want to call it.
Yeah.
And pull it up to the third eye and say, okay, higher self, Christ consciousness, whatever you want to call it, you deal with this because I don't know what it is.
Yeah.
I have no idea. But I'll listen. I'll start to work out what it is. Thank you, body, for the information.
Yeah.
Start pulling the energy inwards to the center and release it out to the third eye. At the same time, try and keep the top of the head open and let energy come down. So the energy is supposed to come down through the crown, down to the base and back up, and it zigzags and does all sorts of things. So don't try and control it too much.
Don't try and figure it out.
Just let it happen. Say, okay, let the crown chakra open up, let the energy come down, let all the shit come up and come out the front here, out the third eye, to the higher self, to the Christ consciousness. You deal with it, and I'll just try and follow the intuitions.
And for me, when I first started to do that practice, visualization helped. Okay, so I'd actually visualize myself, and I'd visualize energy coming in, and wherever the energy was, I'd visualize pulling that into my center, and visualizing it coming out and being released. So rather than trying to pull the energy around, I found for me that just visualizing it in my mind, in my mind's eye, was a good way to start.
So God exists we're all gods. We're not all God. We're all gods, and that there's the heart of hearts. Some people call it the high heart, the sacred heart, whatever. There's a point inside the heart chakra, the central heart, the heart of hearts, the holy heart. There's so many names for it. But if you try and pull everything to there and let the God self, let the higher self, if you want to call it that, let your intuitive self, let the inner guru, whatever you want to call it, just say, whatever that is, pull it to the center and then release it out through the third eye. So pull it to the center, say, you deal with this, you judge this, I don't know. I can't measure every quantifiable measure in the universe, and I don't know about other people's past lives and what they've done. And so just pull it into there and say, you deal with this. So a lot of it is energy going out. So just pull it in and say, hey, deal with this. And that's why the higher self, the the great central sun, the core God, whatever you want to call it, comes down through the top and it connects with the God self we have in the heart of hearts. And that's where everything needs to come to be dealt with. So that's the simplest technique that can deal with all of this at once. But it's scary at first. So,
and to be clear, you know, we typically call it God.
Yeah.
We call it God or infinite spirit. You know, everyone has their terms.
Yeah.
You know,
I never used to. I used to hate the word God, but
Yeah.
you know, because I had so many other connotations. I used to use universe.
Yeah.
I used to use everything. I've just gotten past that now, and I just go, you know what? Because God to me is not a person. It's like I used to use the Force. That was my favorite terminology because it's like, you know, it's non-judgmental. It's like when I had the near-death experience when I was 23. You know, I went and had Judgment Day, but there was no one there. It was just me in this massive presence. In this, there was, and all the stuff that I saw was just me going, oh shit, I had that, and I could have had that. I did that, and you know, it was all me. Like, I'm not even judging. It's a reflection day. It's like, so.
All right. Does the library have anything for Asperger's?
Oh yeah, it's like, well, it's first of all the bigger one you want to do. The tool is Are They My Feels? We've got on
our YouTube channel.
On our YouTube channel. So Asperger's and autism, all of those, they really, Are They My Feels, which is that mind. So basically all these things that sort of, I think they call it the spectrum now. The people who are just really sensitive and more into one mind. They don't have the dualistic mind. They don't have the right and wrong mind as much. Everything comes in and they actually are more in oneness, and they pick everything up and they don't know how to deal with it because everything we, you know, when we're picking up other people's thoughts and feelings, we're picking them up inside. Because they're inside of us, we automatically assume stupidly that they're ours. Oh, you know, I'm thinking about this all the time. It's not, I don't know if I'm thinking about it. There's these thoughts going around.
Yeah.
There's this feeling, there's this anxiety going around inside. Is that mine? Oh, no, who does that belong to? Holy shit, that belongs to fucking 4,000 people who live in this area. You can pick up the feelings.
Hunger, unhappiness, sadness.
You can literally, the more sensitive you are, you can pick up the feelings of 1 million people simultaneously. So that's why it's hard to distinguish. So using that tool, Are They My Feels? Put your hand on it and just call it that feeling. Don't call it my pain, my anxiety. Say there's a feeling of anxiety here. Is that mine? And when you say, is that mine, it'll get lighter and less anxious. And you just say, fuck off, or return to sender, or whatever you want to, whatever command you want to give, get the fuck out. Whatever. You know, whatever you want to say, whatever works for you. And just go, and then repeat it 10, 15 times. So with the Asperger's, you know, when you get that feeling, when you don't want to go outside or whatever, just get to the door and just, you know, go feel that anxiousness or the nervousness or whatever you, just name it. Say, that's nervousness. Don't say I'm nervous, I'm anxious. Say there's nervousness in me. Is that mine? And you might do it 10, 15 times, 20 times. And each time it'll get a little bit less and go, yeah, get out. You know, it's like kicking people out of the party. You know, the party's over, fuck off. It's not, you know, you gotta sort of start to take command to do this, you know, and that's why we share these tools.
Yeah. So Tony said, so basically to stop my headaches, I need to stop negative thoughts.
Yes, and a bigger one for headaches is holding on to old limitations. So a part of the negative thoughts is the old limitations. So it's running the thoughts over and over again. I can't do this because of that. I can't do that because of that. I can't do this because of that. Oh, you know what? If I do that, this person will get upset. If I do that. So it is negative in general, but negative's a really broad spectrum. Cool. So it's like, okay, you know, what is it I'm thinking I want to do? What if I could do it? You know? And when you got the feeling, you just, you know, one of the new wording I heard on that emotion video, she said it a very good way. She goes, okay, so feel it and go, okay, is this an old limitation? What if I had no fear? What would I do right now? And you'll feel it, that the headache will start to dissipate instantly. If I had no fear, what would I do right now? What would I say? Oh, I'd ring that person up and say this, or I'd do that, or I'd fucking go down and fucking sit by the park and stare at the birds. You know,
bird, squirrel.
So, you know, just, you know, these are all but they're all a sign. They're all telling us something. You know, they're not problems. They're signals to the problem. The problem is the negative emotions, the negative thoughts, the fears, or anything to do with fear. Fear is false evidence appearing real. That's a simple way to put it. If you break it down to an anagram, it's evidence, so it seems real. It's evidence, you can compile it, but it's false because you can't compile it compared to all of existence. You can't compile it compared to all of time. It's only in a limited space. It's, yes, all the evidence from this point of view tells me that there's a screen here, but if I stand over the other side, there's a piece of flat piece of plastic, and I've got the fucking evidence there. I can measure it and everything else. So which one is it? Is it a screen or a flat? It's both. It just depends on your point of view.
So Nikki's asked, is that the same with migraines?
Migraines, yeah, the same, very much the same. I dealt with a lot of migraines, and it's the fear, it's the holding on to the old limitations. But that's a very simple and general. You got to find it. It's the fear to do what you want to do, to say what you want to say. You know, it's like, I just want to fucking, you know, just get out of this. I don't want to fucking talk about this with this person over and over again. You know, that's the old limitation. Is the mind's telling you stop doing something, and you don't want to because you've started the pattern. You gave that permission that person permission, or you gave that situation permission before. Or I did it. You know, one of my classic ones was, oh, well, I used to do that, so I can't say nothing. It's like, that bullshit. Because I used to do that. This is why I'm doing all of this, because I've done nearly everything that everyone says I've done before, and I've had to work through. And that's why I can say it with more compassion, more understanding, and more ease. You know, it's not coming from judgment. It's coming from, you know, awe. It's coming from, wow, you can really change this stuff. Changing your own point of view, you know, your attitude, not your aptitude. Most denotes your altitude. That means, you know, your attitude, if you want to fly high in life, you've got to get a good attitude. It doesn't matter about what you know. It's about your attitude.
He's one of your pet favorites. So Jane, I've noticed in the last week, L4 lower back, to be exact, slightly swollen sort of touch.
Yeah. So L4, well, L5S1 was my favorite actually, but L4 is a little bit higher. So it's base chakra or navel chakra. So it's not following your feelings for starters. Because that's the emotions, the navel chakra. And it's usually not following your feelings because of an issue with one person. Like you worry about money, which ties into a person. So it's a one-on-one. Because it's L4, I'm thinking it's more navel.
Feels left side.
And so if it's navel chakra, it's issues, one-on-one issues, you know. I can't do this because my boss won't like it, or my husband won't like it, or, you know, or just one other person, or lots of one other persons, lots of one-on-one issues. You know, I can't do that because I used to go and run and dance down the street, and every second person used to tell me, fucking shut up, and I'll stab you in the back. You know,
I want to knife you.
I want to knife you because you're having too much fun, you know.
To use the words of one of our viewers.
So you know, the L5, that's like, it's just the core of it is not, L4 is not following your feelings. And it's a lot of base chakra, and the reason you're not following your feelings is because you're worried about other people. It's the relationship you've got with the group, you know, all the people at work, or all the family, or all your friends, or the government.
It's work, she said.
Yeah. So it's like, can't do this because they'll say that. Well, just say, what if I could? You know, what if I had no fear? What would I do? And just do it little bit by little bit. Just try a little bit each day. Okay, I want to tell these people I don't want to buy into their bullshit anymore. So, you know, find a nice way of saying that. Say, okay, sorry,
Don't tell them you want to knife them.
Yeah. Don't say, I'm not buying into your bullshit anymore. You can say that on the inside. but you just say, look, yeah, I know I used to buy into that, and I'm just trying to change my ways. Sorry, you know, I used to agree with that, but I'm just not going to talk about it right now because I'm trying to change my attitude. I've got the wrong attitude with that. So you just start changing, or, you know, I'm sorry that upsets you, but I need to do this for me. I'm sorry if that upsets you. Just start changing bit by bit. Just agree to change it.
Yeah.
Just agree to the feelings.
Yeah, okay. Acknowledge, really. Yeah. Thank the message, acknowledge it, and then agree, you know, to make the change.
Thank you, feelings, for telling me I need to do something. Even though I can't work it out right now, I'm going to listen more and more. I'm going to start working with it. I'm going to try and work it out. I'm going to listen more for the messages. And that should take the pressure off immediately.
Okay, Shannon, what do heel spurs? I can never say that word. Fasciitis.
Heel spurs and fasciitis, they're similar but different. Again, a lot of this stuff, because it's in the feet, this is a lot of tribal issues. This is base chakra. So this is, you know, it's got the fasciitis, plantar fasciitis, which is the flat feet. Anything that's sagging has got to do with worrying and overthinking. So, which is really hard to describe because when one person's overthinking is another person's, just a little bit of thinking, so it's relative to each person. But when we overthink, when we ruminate, so we come up with a decision, then we question it again and we question it again. My son Will, who was on earlier, he had a perfect description of that. Overthinking is when you think about something, you come up with a conclusion, and you don't believe that conclusion, and you think about it again, and you try and come up with another conclusion, and you think about it again. That's overthinking. And so one of the ways to stop that, and this will cause prolapse discs, this will cause saggy skin, anything, saggy boobs, anything that's dropping, that doesn't hold up, hernia, which was one of my ones, the squash disc, overthinking, and this is about your feelings, not following your feelings. So, and the heel spurs is, I'm pretty sure that's a nerve issue thing. So this is going to have to do with communication. Pretty sure that the heel spurs got to do with nerve, but work on the fasciitis first, because that overthinking.
She said it is worrying a lot for a long time.
So overthinking, there's only one way to stop overthinking, and that is to get active. You've got to push yourself active, do an activity that requires some focus. So walking is okay, but walk quickly, something that makes you focus and makes you concentrate. It can be like, anything that really requires a focus and an attention that's active, that requires not so much thinking, but concentration. And that's the best way to do it. Like, activity is definitely the best. Will, my son who was on before, had the flat feet. He went to the soccer school, and it changed him within 2 months, because they did 4 hours of training per day. It changed him overnight, with a lot of that stuff.
Yeah.
So.
Okay. There was another one here.
So that's the reason that holds things up is the stomach and the spleen, which is the earth element. That's the element in Chinese medicine that holds things up. So like the earth holds the river up. So if the earth gets weak, and the riverbanks fall, the river spreads out and it's not contained anymore. So anything to do with saggy skin, which was one of my issues recently, and flat feet, prolapse discs, all of that sort of stuff will come into worrying, overthinking.
So Carla's asking, how do you know if it's a health issue versus like an energy issue or that kind of thing?
Well, I don't believe there is one without the other. They're all energy issues. Every health issue is an energy issue, and you can deal with it either way. I just prefer, like, I give it generous, and I say 25% of the problem is physical, and 75% that's general. My real belief is, 5% is physical and 95, but we'll go generous here. We'll say 70.
We'll give you a range.
Okay, so we say 75% of it's energetic, emotional, mental. It's about the atoms and molecules in the body not flowing. So if you fix the energy side, the emotions, the attitudes, whatever it is, the physical side of fixing it, even if it's vitamins or whatever, you'll just be drawn to it automatically. It just happens. You don't even have to think about it. You just, you'll pick the right foods.
Tonight, I got up, I had a quick nap after work, and I got up and I just had this craving for tomato juice. I haven't drank tomato juice in probably 9 months.
Yeah.
So for whatever reason, my body's just going, hang on, I want you to have a bit of tomato juice.
But that was because he released something before he lied down. He went through a big emotional
release earlier.
And then the body afterwards, okay, so because tomato juice, I know one of the things of that is very good for the skin, very good for that. So
your body, your body just naturally gives you these messages. It's whether or not you're tuning into listening to them, right?
So if you do it the other way around, a lot of the time people fix the physical issue. If it's vitamin, if it's something like that, they'll take the vitamin. It doesn't work because the emotion just keeps reactivating it. So the body, they think, the body's not absorbing it. It's absorbing it. It's just getting used up again straight away by the emotional.
Shannon's saying, yep, whole body sagging issues.
Yeah. So this is just overthinking, worrying. And it's like, and it's hard to say that to somebody who's an overthinker because they don't realize it because it's just, that's where they're functioning from all the time.
There's no reference point.
There's no reference point to, you have to go back to, remember when you didn't think about anything and you go, oh yeah, I remember that when I was like 3. And so just start to get active, get out, even if it's just walking, getting out in the sun. The other thing that helps really not think, or the better way of thinking is look out in the distance. One of the health things they say, look out on the horizon. So when you're walking, look a far way away. So go out for a walk. If you start thinking, especially if there's a bit of sun, walk and look as far into the distance as you can. That also helps you stop thinking.
Okay, Angela, bit of anxiety lately around my lung health. I think excuse me if I get this wrong, aspergillosis has returned. I'm not sure what that is.
No, I don't think I've heard that one.
Don't know if I could mentally fight it again.
Yeah, so lungs generally have got to do with unexpressed grief, right? So the lungs, in Chinese medicine, the lungs represent grief. There's a few other emotions there. But grief's the easiest one to see. So it's like, and it might not be your grief, right? You've taken, you could have taken all the grief from your family, which was one of my things I did when I was a kid, because I was adopted, and I was adopted by my auntie and uncle, and I was replaced their other son, and I had all this grief around, and I used to smoke a lot of stuff back in the day. And I was like, when I released all that grief.
Did you?
It's like for 15 years or something, from when I was 12 years old. And it's like, and when I stopped and I released the grief, it took, 3 minutes of crying. And it was like, but that was the willingness and the willingness to open up and just release it. And most of it wasn't mine, I discovered. It's like, it was all the other grief of the people around me. And so it's like, and that's why the only reason it'll come back is because you might go through all these physical things that fix it, vitamins and everything else. But if you haven't dealt with the emotion, the grief, the worry, the fear, whatever these emotions are, the anger, if it's in the liver, which was, my old favorite one. So, the kidneys are all about fear. The lungs are about grief. The heart is about joy and excessive and like, especially out of balance joy. People that you can hear it in their voice. The people that do the nervous laughter and like they'll say something like ha ha ha. That's the heart meridian. That's the heart. It's out of balance. When it's in balance, they don't do that. Same as liver people. Like I am a liver person. They moan and groan when it's out of balance. They moan and groan a lot. Kidney people, when they're the ones that you just hear that they're doing that all the time, and it's very subtle, but you can pick it up.
So that condition was mold or fungus in the lungs.
All right, yep, okay.
Yeah,
so the mold, so a lot of heat issues there as well. So on the Chinese medicine, the mold and the fungus can build up. So you got a pH problem, you got a heat problem. But these again, there's the pH is in the we do pH water and stuff like that. But the main pH you got to fix up is in your thoughts. You've got acidic thoughts and acidic emotions. So you can have all the alkaline, you see a lot of vegans and that, and they've got, they're blaming and judging the world, and they've got all this perfect diet, and their fucking pH levels are fucked up because they've got acidic thoughts. They're judging. I don't know. It looks like the world's fucked up, but I don't know. God's plan. Maybe it's not.
Maybe
it's not. My life, maybe it's just getting to that critical surrender point for everyone, for the whole entire world, to change it. I've seen it countless times over the last 20 years. It's that surrender point when everything seems, that's when people finally let go and go, okay, I'm going to listen. I'm going to listen to myself inside. I'm going to listen to the inner guru. I'm going to listen. And it's like, and then it changes overnight. It's like fucking all this chaos is fixed in an instant. And the world can do the same thing. And maybe that's why, I don't know. I'm a God. I'm not the God.
Yeah. So I think so Angela's come back to say my father-in-law is not good. So it makes sense. Yeah, cool.
Yeah.
It's such a wealth of information. Thank you, Angela.
Okay. So yeah, we're doing I'll do 3 free readings this week, or
they're already taken.
They're already taken. Okay. All right.
That's about 8 replies.
Yeah. Okay. And if you want paid ones, we're still doing it cheap.
Yeah, we still do cheap.
So
we'll do it cheap this week.
We'll do it cheap if you want the dual ones from John and I both.
2 on 1.
So we do it on Zoom or face to face if you're in Melbourne.
Yeah.
And yeah. Let us know. We can do that.
Yeah, drop a comment, go on the website, send us a message.
Check out the videos. I know like a lot of this stuff gets very personal because it does connect to a lot of people when we find it. So I did say last week that I'd put the ones I did this week up on Facebook, but I'm not going to because there was too many personal names and that brought up. So we don't need to air our dirty laundry in social media. What else?
I love how the body talks to us if we take the time to tune in. The body talks to you. Yeah. The body can talk back to you.
So the body, the body is the mirror of our soul. It's the mirror of our subconscious. The subconscious mind is massive. It picks up every single thought, feeling, emotion but especially every single word. If you're sitting around and you don't pay attention, you're going, yeah, everyone's fucked and everyone's this and that. Everybody, nobody cares, right?
It's like I never get what I want, or my partners always have this problem,
and you don't mean it, right?
You don't mean it.
You don't mean it in that moment. You're just venting, right? But the subconscious mind doesn't know that you don't mean it, and you don't mean it every day. You say it once, twice, 3 times every day. It takes that as more real than It says nobody gives a shit, right? Nobody gives a shit, and then you're trying to get your partner or your friend or your child to give a shit, and they won't give a shit because your subconscious is blocking it out.
No one gives a shit.
So that you won't see them. You can see them giving a shit, and it just won't register. So this is the subconscious creates the filters.
That's what we do. Like we through our sessions, we pay attention to these little sayings or filler words. They give away so much information about subconscious.
You slowly change that very easily. The change is, it looks like nobody gives a shit. It seems like nobody gives a shit. Maybe they do. And then that starts to dissolve the filter. And then you'll go, oh, yeah. And then you'll see more and more. Oh, yeah, there's lots of people that give a shit. I've just been listening to the fucking mainstream media too much. I've just been listening to social media too much where everyone wants to vent their bullshit. It's like, stop listening to those things. Because for every, like the yin and the yang, the balance of the world, the right and the wrong, there must be a hell of a lot of good stuff going on in the world at the moment. Because the mainstream media is posting so much bad stuff, bullshit. Right? So that tells me automatically that there is so much good stuff going on because it's got a balance. The universe seeks a balance all the time. That's what yin and yang is. So the fact that it looks like there's so much bad stuff because, people don't go and buy magazines that are full of all good stories. Some of us do, but not many. They want to hear, you've got one man at the end of the street preaching about, faith and forgiveness, and you've got the other one at the other end of the street preaching about doomsday. You'll have 80% of the crowd there. It's just been part of human nature for a long time, which needs to change.
Yeah. It relates to all aspects of things. Those simple things, if you're constantly saying to yourself, I haven't got enough money, I haven't got enough time, I haven't got enough this, I haven't got enough that.
It doesn't matter, what's true, there was a saying, when you've got the right attitude, the facts don't matter. And the reason that is because there is no fucking facts. Unless you are the God that can measure every single bit of time, space, from every measurement, then you can get a fact. You've got to know from all time, from the beginning of time to the end of time, you've got to go from all space, you've got to know every past life, you've got to know every action to get a fact. Otherwise, it's just a point of view. Doesn't matter how big it is, it's still a point of view. So there is no actual facts. There's just our point of view. And so if we have the right attitude and then we see it, how many people out there have bought a car, never seen this car before, they buy it, all of a sudden it's freaking everywhere because it's in your consciousness. What if you started saying, hey, maybe there's more generous people around. Maybe there's generous people everywhere. Maybe there's nice people. What if there was nice people? All of a sudden, I bet you tomorrow you'll see fucking 4 or 5 and you haven't seen any for a month.
And if you see one, and you congratulate them.
Yeah, right? You can go and congratulate them if you want, but you just say it. It's like, good on you. Fantastic. Good for you. Congratulations on being a winner. Because when you say that, you're asking the universe for yours. Congratulations on your success. Congratulations on that good relationship. That automatically, in turn, asks the universe for you to get yours. You don't say congratulations, where's mine? By saying congratulations, you're putting that vibration out, where's mine? Congratulations on your success. It looks like you're successful. Don't, be careful not to buy into it because the head goes, oh, but they're not really happy. How the fuck do you know? Just because they're not smiling that day, they might have just stepped in dog shit or something. Who knows? It's just like, So I'm saying that one because that was my baddie. That was the one that I used to, because I'm good at reading people. But that only works when I'm invited. My good reads only work when I'm asked. All the other times I think I'm reading the same way, but if I'm not invited, the reading is not as good. Okay. All right. We're just about to
wrap it up tonight. Feeling like we'll wrap it up.
Yeah. So just check on our links. We've already got the 3 free ones. So you can check the Facebook links. You can check So we've got the other readings on Facebook or on our YouTube site.
Yep.
So check them out if you want to get a reading. We are working on the book and we are working on some classes. So if you're in Melbourne, hopefully in a week or 2, we're looking at a venue in the city of Melbourne to do meditation and other classes. So we'll be teaching that. And I don't know how long it'll take us to finish the book, but we've started it now, so that's
God's plan.
But yes, if
Divine
you do,
timing through
if you
grace
do
and
have any
ways.
sort of particular ones, do check out. If you've got Gaia TV, go on and check out that video, eMotion. It's pretty much the same thing that we've been talking here. It's about 10 speakers on there. It's called E-Motion. It might be on YouTube as well. I don't know.
Yeah,
It's on Gaia TV. And yeah, it's pretty much the same thing. This is becoming very common knowledge now.
Alrighty.
Thank you guys. Thanks a lot.
Catch you later.
Cheers.
See you next week.